This college basketball picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Draft now or play underdogs. Pick them for a chance to win 100x. Promo code SGPN at UnderdogFantasy.com for 100% deposit match. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US based and legal in 40 states. Head to cut.com. That's KUTT.com and use promo code SGPN for a 10% bonus. We're also brought to you by the SGPN NFL Playoff Challenge, sponsored by Edge Boost. Free to enter, and $20,000 in Edge Boost deposit bonuses up for grabs. Enter today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NFL playoff.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy. You're listening to SGP. Wait, hold on. Say it again. Long Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Sup, homies?
Sup?
How you feeling about my picks?
Which picks?
Oh, I had a great slate last time out.
You did.
I opened my arms and invited Nebraska into the great state of New Jersey.
That was awesome.
And we got home. Some people came after me for including favorites in a money line parlay. Fuck you.
Worked out. Kramer went 9-6. I went 9-6. Colby went 7-8. But really, the consensus plays went 4-2. We were up to 72-45-1 on our consensus plays. Ryan, we got a lot to get to. We got Colby waiting in the wings. First off, of course, shout out to the SGPN Playoff Challenge. Get in over there. Brought to you by Edge Boost. $20,000 in Edge Boost deposit bonuses up for grabs. Get all the details over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NFL playoff. And of course, we're talking hoops. You can get them for hoops, NBA, NFL. They got it all. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs, is bringing in an offer that'll help the playoffs make it electrifying. New customers can bet $5 on any game and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. What do we got here? We got a little as far as these playoff odds, right? We just recorded the podcast last night. The Browns moving from 2.5. They are now down to -2 over on DraftKings Sportsbook. Maybe people are nervous about the Denzel Ward injury in practice. The Green Bay Packers, we picked them last night, 7.5. They're down to 7. So getting some line moving over here on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Of course, head over there, use the promo code SGP. Get a sweet $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5 using the promo code SGP. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, code SGP. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. New York, call 877-HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available. 87897 or visit ccpg.org or check out the Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 160 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility, deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gambling resources. Joining us on the line, you know him from the college basketball experience, Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee. What's happening, Colby?
I'm surprised you didn't mention our round robin hit, Green.
When you start touting, you get a little lost in the
sauce.
You need Flav over here to come in and grab the baton and close it out for you.
Now it did. It was a positive bet here because we went 2-1. We had Iowa State and UNLV on the money line. Both those hit. Now, if the Mountaineers, if Country Roads could actually take us home,
They were up at halftime. They were up at halftime.
It would have been a mega cash. Yeah, I mean, do the West Virginia Mountaineers, do they not get Moneyline Max halftime report? He was explaining you got to get the back cuts going. You got to close out on the threes. I do love how he gives them like a coaching pep talk at halftime. They must have did the exact opposite because they fell apart in the second half.
Yeah, we're not taking them anymore. I'm out on West Virginia. I'm out on West Virginia. I tried. That was, if you can't win that one in a perfect spot against a down Kansas State team this year, I don't know where you're going to find wins. Maybe when you get UCF, but I don't know. UCF looked all right as they stormed the court in Orlando and took down Kansas last night.
Yeah, I tried to talk you guys out of West Virginia.
You did, right?
I tried, and I even cited the MAC breakdowns. I mean, it's why we're very close to the situation. We see it. Mac is pained right now. Coach Huggy Bear is not walking back through that tunnel.
No, they're in a tough spot, man. I like Colby. What are you doing to fix West Virginia right now? They just kind of got to ride it out, right?
I mean, they got to get healthy. They still have Jesse Edwards out, their center, but their starting center, but former Syracuse guy. But I don't know, man. I mean, the talent is there. It's been a crazy year. From their roster standpoint, with the Hug situation, you had players transferring in late. And then you had that no one could play because of the waiver situation. I don't know how many different starting lineups they've trotted out there. So maybe just a little more cohesiveness will be the difference, but you got to fade them until otherwise.
Yeah, they do seem like they're stuck in auto fade. I mean, Purdue losing outright to Nebraska.
I Benedict that one because our number was way off. Remember that line? Remember when I did the sheet? It was at 9.5, and then while we were recording, it went down to I think 6.5. Was it 6.5? And I think it closed at 8.5 or 9. So it was all over the place. Originally, I was with Real Money there and taking. Remember, because we didn't know if Nebraska was going to play everybody.
I have Purdue minus 6.5 on the sheet. So then you changed your mind and you went with Nebraska plus 7.
No, it was like 8.5 or 9. And then
that's
I
what
went
he's
with
saying. The line went in his favor, so he conveniently changed his opinion again.
I was coming into the show. When we had that original number on the show at 9.5 or 9. I was on the Cornhuskers, and we switched when it went down to 6. So
go get the Nutella. We're having waffles.
Let's go.
We're having waffles.
We can see Jake, if you can get a officially licensed Colby Dant Pick Dundee flip flop in the merch store. So he's flipping and flopping, going back and forth.
You gotta know. You gotta know your numbers. You know what I mean. You gotta know your numbers. You gotta know. You gotta stay sharp, like some extra cheddar.
It's like a yin and yang symbol, but it's a Pick Dundee yin and yang.
All right, we got some picks. Let's get to the picks. What do we got, Kramer?
Sorry, I was just making sure I had secured all the NFL action I wanted to secure before any more disadvantageous line movement occurred. As you know, I always feel silly when I'm on the wrong side of a market move.
That's why you're a market dynamics.
I like dynamics in general. Honestly, they could be in the physical world.
How about Dan Marino and his dynamic wife though?
I mean, honestly, like things would be better if we just got back to a time when our presidents were just simpler. Like I want a president going back to commenting on Dan Marino's dynamic wife. Yeah. I want him to be aware of dynamic wives of Dan Marino.
And guess what? Dan Marino couldn't do shit because you got something called the secret security. All right.
Also, you know what?
Or Secret Service.
Find me a president that can fire a fucking fastball like that man as well. I want some sort of athletic test for the next let's just pretend it's still gladiator times.
I think you should pretend. We have the presidential fitness challenge. At least when we were growing up, to be president, you have to pass the presidential fitness challenge. So Joe Biden, sorry, you didn't get 4 chin-ups. You are not the president.
Trump's heavy.
Donald Trump, you can't do a mile in 8.5 minutes. We got girls walking past you. You are not the president. I don't know who the president would be. This is how we get ourselves to a Joe Rogan presidency.
I would love a president who doesn't feel the need to lie about their weight.
Yeah. Pat McAfee will become our next president.
The Rock kind of checks a lot of boxes. Here.
Fuck, not for Colby.
No,
Colby,
yeah, certainly
Colby
not. Certainly not.
Loved
certainly
worldwide. Check.
Worried. He may be. The Rock may lose the election due to his appearances in Fast and Furious. The action movie purist demographic would not support a Rock campaign.
Yeah,
what world leader?
Yeah.
What world leader is taking the Rock on?
Done.
Dead serious. Yeah.
Israel, Palestine. You guys are going to work it out, or you're going to get the people's elbow.
Have you seen the
democracy?
Have you seen the Fast movies?
Is Manny Pacquiao still the like the in charge of? Yeah.
Well, by that logic, Floyd Mayweather could just invade the Philippines right now because he kind of took care of him. No, Floyd didn't beat him up. Who was the guy that knocked him out? I just remember a lot of memes of Pacquiao on like mattresses.
No, wasn't that was that who knocked him out and ended his career basically?
Yeah, I'm blanking.
Was that not Mayweather?
Chat. No, Mayweather doesn't really knock dudes out.
Who knocked him out? Was it Oscar De La
Mayweather
Hoya?
wins, but he just there's like 4 punches thrown the entire fight.
Juan Manuel Marquez. That was the one where like he got photoshopped on a bunch of mattresses.
Yeah, and remember, who can forget when Manny Pacquiao had to sell his chain of sports bars because they were forcing him to cheat on his wife? Very odd stuff over there in the Philippines. You got to be careful.
You know, it makes a lot of sense.
Guys who will get penetration.
I've heard a wise man say, and I'm generalizing here, so some people might get offended, but beware of the man who seeks entertainment in Southeast Asia. Seton Hall heads to Indianapolis, Indiana, to take on Butler in what some say is the greatest college basketball venue in the land. I'm just kidding. No one says that. Seton Hall here.
I say that.
Oh,
yeah.
The greatest?
It's right up there. If not,
okay.
I'd say it's top 5.
Have you made a list of these things recently?
Not recently, but off season, maybe I can jam out 366 venues.
How about just do top 10 and piss off more people?
Oh, we should. Yeah. Is there a college basketball campus tour?
Oh,
there is not. And it's probably Michael Barker.
Yeah. Does he also go to?
Yeah, he does basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, he does.
He goes but he doesn't really document it. He doesn't. He even tells me, he's like, I go just because I have downtime, but I'm not.
It's personal trips, not business.
He's not. Well, his heart's not in it. He didn't grow up. He didn't grow up a college hoops fan. So he grew up a college football fan. So he's like, yeah, I go to these. I like college basketball, but I don't care as much.
Here's Colby.
Maybe we get Noah's station wagon.
No, here's Colby's assignment.
He's got a LeBaron.
I want Colby to do the top college basketball venue in every state.
Oh,
like a map. That
would be fun.
Yeah, Noah can make a graphic for you. You piss a lot of people off. Like the guy that puts out those top 50 like offensive line coaches in college football. It's excellent. It just pisses people off. Or you validate you like, yes, you were number 1. Seton Hall heads to Indy, take on Butler. Butler laying 6 here. Shaheen Holloway clearly taking advantage of the gym situation at Seton Hall compared to St. Peter's because he's a little thicker than I remember. Colby, I like what the Seton Hall team's up to. Unfortunately, Georgetown
didn't get the cover against Georgetown.
Sat on a fucking horseshoe and just got hot.
Did you watch this game?
I did watch this game.
Yeah, we had
Georgetown. What? 3-point lead, 2 minutes left. Couldn't get the ball up the court. It was very frustrating. What did
I say to Sean? I said it feels fortunate that Seton Hall has a chance to cover this game at the end.
And they almost got it. They didn't. Am I crazy to like Seton Hall with the points here?
I don't think Butler's very good.
Yeah, I think Butler's a little inflated. And you look at like, what do you like in a scrappy road dog? Do they get the offensive rebounds? Yes. Seton Hall 7th in the country. Can they hit their free throws? Yes. 76% at the line. That to me is a formula to hang around. And Seton Hall is actually, I think they're going to show up in the spot. Am I crazy, Colby? What do you like here?
No, I like Butler. Seton Hall is traditionally a shitty road team. You saw them almost lose to a bad Georgetown team. Butler is a good team this year. I think they're actually better than their record. Should have won at Providence. They just beat Marquette last night. They're a good team. I think Seton Hall will go to Hinkle and get beat down. I think Pierre Brooks, Posh Alexander, they can match him athletically, and the home edge is all the difference. Give me Butler.
Kramer.
So I guess, I mean, you could say there's some elements of this game that profile similarly. Seton Hall, another tremendous offensive rebounding edge. Maybe that produces easy buckets. It seemed like if we watched the game against Georgetown, it was a little easier in the first half, and then Georgetown just got it together for long enough in the second half to make it a game. Colby seems like he's saying he thinks the same thing happens in this one. I'll just lean back.
Seton Hall's a bad road team. They have been over the past couple of years, and they don't score the ball well. I mean, I know they're better this year than they were a year ago, but even that Georgetown game, if you watch that one, you're like, Georgetown probably should have won that game.
They did beat Providence though, in Providence.
They always do that though. They did that last year. That's like the one team that fucks with Providence. And I think
this is back-to-back road spot too.
Yeah, all right. You're the back-to-back.
I'm not on Butler.
Oh, you're not.
No.
Okay.
I mean, again, this team probably outplayed Georgetown for like 22 minutes out of.
Yeah, the
40.
back-to-back road spot is worrisome, but I just think 6 is a hair too high. I think if Butler gets the win, it's by 3 or 4. So my model has this at Seton Hall getting 4.5. So Ryan, I'm getting 1.5 points CLV.
Yeah, and this game is on Saturday. This is a Prick Dundee.
Early.
This is a Prick Dundee originator.
The line might even be shorter.
That's why we love Seton Hall.
That's why we love getting 6.
Another 9 a.m. tip, which by the way, Colby, pretty solid slate here on a Saturday.
Saturday is going to be awesome. Early good college basketball rolling into super wild card weekend.
Sean, are we
time to be alive?
Do you guys get Peacock?
Oh, we get it all, Colby. We have a thing called God's Eye.
We got it sorted. Don't worry, Colby. I like that you're aware of that though, as the ratings guy. Sean, will we be landed by the time these games tip? Just want to expose the grind to some people.
That's a great question.
We might be in the air coming back from Vegas as these games tip. So it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long weekend. It's all going to blend together. 9 a.m.
We land in Burbank 8:30 a.m. Ryan.
Oh, all right.
So earlier flight. So.
Oh boy.
God, it's
Jesus.
Might have to modify this one.
Madison, I can tell you, that wouldn't. The little one's playing in Temecula, so I'm not making the game anyway. Madison, Wisconsin. Northwestern heads to Wisconsin, where the Wisconsin Badgers are -10. Winner gets the golden stapler. Even the guys who you might stereotypically think don't have the stapler on these teams, they still got a little stapler. You know what I mean? They're system guys. They understand when in Rome. Wisconsin, big number here, Colby.
Dude, they've been pissing on my face most of this college basketball season.
Wow. 4% of our audience really enjoyed that. Statistically.
I was on Ohio State yesterday, and Wisconsin just went in there and beat their ass. And I've had a hard time with this. Understand this Wisconsin team; they've been fire at home. I'm gonna die on this hill. Give me Northwestern in the points. Staplers against Staplers. You can't lay this many points. Give me the Wildcats in the points.
Wisconsin's only losses on the season: road game against Arizona, road game against Providence. We know that's a tough venue. And a home game against Tennessee, November 10th, one of the better teams in the country. This Wisconsin team, to Colby's point, is this the best stapler laden team in the country?
I'd say right now that they probably are playing the best. The staples are sharp in Madison.
I was talking to my boy Hoops, and he was saying you got to the Big Ten teams on the road have been a disaster. Does this apply to Northwestern here because they're the dog? He was using it as an example of, Purdue going on the road. I think it's maybe applies more to road favorites.
Well, the drive from Chicago up to Wisconsin, up to Madison, I'm sure there's some like horse flies and stuff. You're probably going to need to find a car wash once you get there. Not sure if Northwestern's still into that kind of stuff.
Northwestern did show up against Penn State. Decent hang there. Obviously, Wisconsin, much better program right now. I don't know. What are you doing, Kramer?
What do you mean? What am I doing? Which team is favored?
Yeah.
Which team is better at shooting free throws, Sean? Which team is better at offensive rebounding, Sean?
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to go Wisconsin at home.
Here's the
they're going to
angle.
put it on them.
Does Northwestern get hot from behind the 3-point line?
Yeah.
If yes, then yeah, maybe they stick around. They stay within the number. But I like the chalk generally.
I would say the angle also is pace. I mean, Northwestern's 343rd in pace. Wisconsin's 332nd. That's why that made for a 2-point game last year. 54-52.
Big spread
little rock fight.
Big spread for slow paced teams.
It is a big spread for a slow paced team, man.
All right. Colby making rational points here.
Yeah. I don't know. Just the
no, I'm laying the points.
Yeah.
Don't waver.
Colby's more he's more persuasive when he's in studio.
Yeah.
Remote, it's easier to just be like, I don't know about that, Colby.
Fuck this guy. Another 9 a.m. tip. Athens, Georgia. They got the Vols coming to town. It just means more. Tennessee, Georgia. I think these teams fancy this as a big time rivalry. Tennessee -7. How's our boy Blue Cane? What are the minutes up to?
I mean, how about this Georgia Bulldog team?
They're playing good.
They just beat the piss out of Arkansas.
Fucking ran a train through the Gus bus. Get off the tracks, bus.
And I know he's worrying about Blue Cane. Blue Cane only played 19 minutes last night. And
so I'm looking at one of my favorite parts of KenPom is if you scroll down to the bottom of a team page, they'll show you the depth chart as represented by percentage of time of play, and then they'll show you the most common roster combinations. It does seem like Blue Cane is like basically splitting time at the 2 guard position. So he's a freshman. He's splitting time with a senior, Noah Tomasin. So yeah, I would love to see more minutes from our guy Blue, but maybe he's got to earn it. He's the freshman. You got to take the points though. Are you kidding me?
I don't know. I mean, Georgia's won 10 games in a row. I would, to me, it would be, conference home dog. You would always look to Georgia here, but Tennessee coming off a loss
on the road.
Yeah. On the road at Mississippi State. What do you think, Colby? Does Tennessee get up and roll here?
Yeah, Georgia's got to prove it to me more. They're 2-0 in SEC play against Mizzou and Arkansas, but Arkansas just hasn't looked that good this year. Mizzou's been pretty shitty. Tennessee beat them by I think 30 the last time they played. They got to prove it to me. Give me the Vols in a bounce back spot.
I think Georgia might be set up for a letdown game. You're going to get a hungry regular season Rick Barnes team coming off a loss. I mean, I want to know if someone could crunch the numbers. Generally, if you're coming off now, I know they lost a couple games back to back, but that's Purdue, Kansas, UNC. I think in general, them off a loss, I don't know. Regular season feels like a good spot.
You could argue that these Mississippi State teams and Georgia team is not that far apart in terms of how they play ball.
True.
So if you're going to have a problem with one, maybe you have I certainly would take the points before I laid the points here. Rare occasion for that, but I'm also, I'm in on this Georgia program. Also, I question how much of a recruiting trip Rick Barnes sees this as. He always gets up for the big time recruiting trips. I don't know if bags will be dropped heading to Athens, Georgia. 9 a.m. on the West Coast. A lot of early games on Colby 6-pack this week. We're into Chapel Hill where Syracuse takes on UNC. North Carolina, still an enigma to me. -13 here. Big number to take on the Orangemen. I noticed Sean's already not wearing his. Maybe it's playoff week. That's
playoff week.
We're not wearing
Trumps, Syracuse.
Okay.
But Cuse, you're giving the orange people.
Oh wow, you're that's very progressive of you.
I've called them orange people.
I remember when they were called the Orangemen.
Orangemen.
Now they're called the Orange.
They're getting 13 points. What am I missing here? Syracuse has a defense. Now, I mean, top 40 defense in adjusted efficiency, and you're giving that defense 14 points to play with. Cool. I mean, they did lose by 20 at Duke. That was a game I was on Syracuse, and man, they were in that game. Duke just made a run at about like the 10-minute mark, I feel like, and they just never responded from that. Carolina's due for just a close game. I'm with Sean. Syracuse. I like the fact they're playing man to man now. They're not going with that zone. Boeheim's picking boogers at home, and this Q's team.
a little more athletic than Sean's stapled Q's teams.
Oh, how dare you, Buddy Boeheim?
It's all this talk of boogers.
It's Colby's bit on Jim Boeheim that he picks boogers on the side.
Wasn't Harbaugh talking about boogers as well after the Natty? Maybe I missed that. Come on, you guys are really grasping it. They're due for a close game. That's the handicap.
They just
My-
played NC State.
My handicap is that Syracuse has a defense this year.
Okay.
To Colby's point, they're not playing that zone that teams can figure out. Now, maybe this will backfire.
It's a letdown spot too.
Yeah.
They just played NC State in Raleigh.
Yeah.
That's a
Off
rivalry game. Yeah.
And you're laying a big number. You always take the points. This is handicapping 101.
Louisville on deck. North Carolina is going to make an example of Syracuse.
No way.
Lay the points.
Hey, you know what? You know what is a great example when it comes to delicious pizza? Little C's. Love me some Little C's. Little Caesars. If you're not getting Little Caesars for Super Wild Card Weekend, can you even call yourself a D-Gen? This is what Little Caesars, when they created a pizza franchise, they're like, we need to figure out a way in the future to serve people for 6 NFL playoff games. You got that pretzel crust. I mean, they filmed a promotional video of them making pretzel crust. What more do you want, folks? This is a delicious, nutritious, amazing pizza. The pepperonis piled high. That cheese is just delicious. Love the wings as well. Great. Just get yourself a Saturday package, a Sunday package, a Little C's. You're not going to regret it. You can order online or pick it up in store with the Pizza Portal pickup. Little C's. Love me some Little C's. We're also brought to you by Cut. That's right. KUTT. It is a peer-to-peer social betting platform. It's US based, legal in 40 states. Kramer, you like the Texans. I like the Browns. We can settle this over on Cut. And I don't have to worry about shaking down Ryan and making sure he follows through with his bets. I like the mustache bet. Cut is it's very easy to use. It's the ultimate put your money where your mouth is. You got a guy running his mouth online, in a bar, at work. Challenge him. Get your bets in on Cut and send him a link and say, hey, sign up over on Cut. Actually put your money where your mouth is. Get the 10% deposit bonus using the promo code SGPN. And of course it's KUTT. You also get the cashback reward on every bet. I have a bet out now. Check me out on social at Sean T Green or at Gambling Podcast for the link. I got $200 on the Eagles -3. You want action? I'm taking your action over at KUTT, promo code SGPN. Kramer,
I like that. You say, "Come cut me." Is that how you
try and cut me? You're not going to be able to cut me.
Well, you want them to cut you.
No, I don't want to get cut.
No. You don't want to get cut, but then you need to get cut because you want someone to be on the other side. We'll work it out. It's clunky right now.
This was their original pitch.
All right, so it's gonna be like an old school knife fight. I'm picturing some sort of switchblade activity. Sean's got some very dexterous hands.
I'm just seeing the chat saying Baker gonna ball, Bucks money line.
Oh,
you guys talking a lot of smack. I see my bet is still open. Come get it on Cut.
St. John's heads to Omaha, Nebraska, where once again I'm going to remind people there is now video evidence that Eli Manning used Omaha well before Peyton ever did.
Oh,
Creighton here laying 6.5 according to Prick Dundee, taking on Mr. Patino himself. I'm sure Colby has some awareness to the diner situation in the area. Omaha, not a diner town though. I'd be a little concerned he might have to drive a little bit.
Whoa. Shirley's Diner. There's 2 spots here. Shirley's seems like first off, it's this classic diner serving familiar ass. If you name your daughter Shirley, you're locking her in as a diner waitress. Like that is just the most diner waitressy name I've ever heard in my life.
Tino calls up. He's like, "Hey, you guys got that speed pie? I got like 30 to 60 seconds tops."
We also have the Okie Dokie Diner.
Is this Little C's? Is anyone over there hot and ready?
I think he'd like the Okie Doke. Yeah, I like the Okie Doke special, but I only got 30 seconds.
Hey, you also have JoJo's Diner, the clown show. I don't know if Patino's going there. He seems to me like a Shirley's or a Okie Dokie Diner.
JoJo sounds like where you go, like it's a down low diner. If Patino is into something a little different, you know, if it was going for that Tuesday crowd.
The Okie Dokie Diner is also a lounge. So,
well, he doesn't have time for a lounge. He's in and out. Very in and that's the best part of the story, as we've highlighted before. St. John's, always the weird road trip in the Big East. Colby, we laying the points with Creighton.
Man, it's tough to win here. I don't know how the hell Villanova of all teams did it. But I'll tell you this: Rick Pitino is in first place right now in the Big East. People were doubting old Slick Rick, and you know they're fourth in the nation in offensive rebounding right now. This is old school tactics, man. 6.5.
Box out.
I understand Creighton has UConn on deck, so it's a potential look ahead spot, but I just think it's so hard to win at this place. And meanwhile, St. John's has Seton Hall and Marquette on deck. I think this is the one they lose. I think they beat the other. They bounce back and win the next two games.
I think they lose, but I don't think they're going to go down without a fight. I mean, look at what St. John's on the road. They beat Villanova. 4-point loss in UConn. You know, they took down West Virginia, which that doesn't look like an amazing win right now, but I don't know. This beat Utah on a neutral. I don't think they're going to go out without a swing. I mean, I'm worried
Okie dokie. I'll join you.
Yeah, it's worrisome when Colby's not on Rick Pitino, but at 6.5, feels like we're going to get at least a couple points here of value. Kramer.
I mean, what do you want for a team when you're in a tough road spot, Colby? You want experience. You want some age. You want a plan. You want them to understand what they're going to go do. You don't want them to get rattled by the situation. It was always going to be Pitino. Come on.
Yeah. And the UConn game on deck is big for Creighton.
Against these country honky tonk motherfuckers. Any staplers in Nebraska?
Oh yeah. They got some razor sharp staples on that roster. Check them out. Yeah. There's a Cockbrenner on that team. There's a Shireman.
Oh man, Pitino doesn't like the staples at the diner. He likes his diner to have a little bounce.
So we got our first consensus play.
Really, this far into the show, consensus play.
And reminder for all the haters and losers out there: 72, 45 and 1 on our consensus picks, and the show is free. What more do you want? 72, 45 and 1. If you just tuned out all the noise, although the noise is the best part.
Set up Creighton.
Yeah, fire release.
San Diego State. All right, we're moving from 10 a.m. on the West Coast to 11 a.m. on the West Coast. By the way, that's an early tip in Nebraska, right? Nebraska is what, Mountain Time, or are they Central Time?
Central, I think.
Oh, okay, so it's noon. Well, now we're heading 11 a.m. To Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're love to remind you, little bit of elevation here.
Yeah,
a lot of bit of energy as New Mexico hosts our gals from San Diego State. Prick Dundee suggesting that San Diego State should be the dog here. I'd like to hear an explanation for this one.
It's one of the toughest places to grab a dub in America. And last year I think Lamont Butler hit a game-winning 3 at the buzzer for San Diego State to win at the Pit, if memory serves me correct. Yeah, I mean this place is rocking, and also New Mexico just lost at UNLV. We were on that one. Me and Green were on that one.
Yes, part of the winning round robin there. I'm with Colby. I mean, I actually think this is, to Kramer's point, I think New Mexico might close a small dog. I mean, it's going to be probably jumping between pick +1 for New Mexico. I think Colby values the Pitt home court slightly more than what the market will open at. But I'm with him on the handicap. New Mexico coming off a loss at home is just a great spot. I hate fading the Aztecs because I do think they're, the team is back. And I think if any team has a chance to go in and win at the Pit, it might be this San Diego State team. But if we're getting New Mexico at anything close to a pick, I think that's the play.
Yeah, I mean they're 8-0 at home. I don't think the San Diego State team is as good as a year ago, and I think New Mexico is actually better than a year ago. So Lobos.
And revenge game.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good luck. Give me San Diego State. Wrong team favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wrong
Market
team favorite.
dynamic guy.
I'm not gonna take a team when I think they should be laying points when they're a dog, or I'm not gonna not take a team. And they're our gals. You guys suck on this filthy New Mexico program. Crime first. Crime pays. 11 a.m. Lawrence, Kansas. We got Oklahoma and Porter Moser coming to town. Rumor has it he still calls Sister Jean every night to tuck her in over the phone. Kansas laying 6 here.
Top 10 matchup.
Great matchup. Love that Porter Moser isn't. He feels like he's fixed everything. Maybe.
Just lost to TCU though. At TCU, and Kansas just lost to UCF.
Like TCU's had some fucking witchcraft magic.
I think you got to take Kansas off the loss. Coming back to the fog though. This line could be more too, just because of that.
Yeah, I mean Kansas at home. If I'm fading Kansas at home, I have to have a great reason. Now, granted, they didn't cover against TCU, but I don't know the fact that
we were on that. Jamie Dixon always plays them tough, man.
Yeah,
that was easy. That was an easy handicap. Oklahoma, on the other hand, like I don't know, man. I just don't think this is going to be a good outcome for them in the fog. You can bring up all the stats. You know, I understand this is his most athletic team in Norman, but Kansas off a loss at the fog in a top 10 matchup. Get the fuck out of here. They're going to destroy Oklahoma.
Yeah.
We didn't. I don't think we discussed it, but we have to note this for next time. Jamie Dixon certainly stepped his game up because he felt threatened by Porter Moser's hair. That was a hair matchup in the Big 12. We're gonna next time they play, Colby. Let's not forget to bring that up. I'm with you. This is when you take Kansas.
Loss at home. It's
in the
it's
regular
a
season.
smash spot.
Smash.
Even if the number might be a little smaller, you lay the number, doesn't matter. Xavier heads to Providence, Rhode Island to take on Providence, laying 4. I'm all the way back in on Providence. Don't generally like to take Xavier outside of the state of Ohio. And yeah, again, like feels.
But Providence has lost 3 in a row, Ryan. Now Seton Hall at home, tough loss. Creighton on the road, St. John's on the road.
This is when you take them. They're at a low point, 3 straight losses, 2 of those on the road in tough spots against tough matchups. Quite frankly, this and here you catch a team that's pretty much on your level, in your place, hyper focused. Yeah.
Well, and I think this is actually a good time to fade Xavier as well. I mean, Xavier's a team I don't look to play on the road in general, and just came off a tough loss at home against UConn. Probably shot their load. You go to Providence. I think this is tough. They got Butler at home, Georgetown at home. They're probably already looking ahead to those home spots. So yeah,
they've only played 2 games since Christmas. Lost both of them. Villanova a week ago, or a little bit more than a week ago, and UConn after that. So
it's chalky, but I think you got to take Providence here. Colby, do you agree?
I do. I mean, I know Bryce Hopkins' injury is crushing for them as they hit the road there, but the energy of this building, they know these games are key if they want to have any shot at dancing. Xavier's a beat up team too. You know, they lost 2 of their best players before the season ever started. So can't take Xavier on the road at all. Providence, the better team, still with the injuries. Give me the Friars minus the points.
Yeah, they just don't have any real good wins outside of their home arena. I mean, maybe the St. Mary's win on a neutral is what you can point to, but they've been bad on the road. Whoa. Oh, why are we talking about Virginia? Heading to Winston-Salem, where Wake Forest laying 3.5 against the Wahoos. Tony Bennett bringing respect to the city of Charlottesville after all those atrocities. Wake Forest laying 3.5, actual private school against the wannabe private school. I think last time we spoke that UVA is the gold standard for public schools that want to be private schools. I'd also like to nominate Clemson be put on that list.
Oh yeah.
While we're discussing, because for the longest time I thought they were a private school. Turns out they're not. They just act that way. Obviously, I'm laying the points with Wake Forest. I sent my message to UVA last time. Colby.
Well, they just lost to Florida State. They were red hot and won 9 straight before that.
Hold on. Pause for a second. What What the hell was Florida State doing with those uniforms?
Yeah. I don't know.
What is that?
Those were horrible. It's
like you asked the little kid to like make a UNC uniform with crayon, and Florida State wore it. I get it. It's some like legacy, probably Florida A&T thing or something. But Jesus.
No, but that was a big win. Florida State's kind of turned it back on. They've won 3 straight. Now Wake Forest, can they bounce back? Virginia's been kind of this is looking like one of Tony Bennett's worst teams in a while. I think it's vital that Dante Harris gets healthy and in the lineup. He's a game time decision. Georgetown transfer. He's a good guard, but we haven't really seen him much with the Wahoos. So that's the only thing. I still think Wake Forest, though. I think this is Forbes' best team at Wake Forest. I think they get it done. Lay the points with the Deeks.
See, I'm annoyed that they lost to. Yeah, I think the fact that Wake's coming off the loss after all those wins in a row, good wake up call against a Virginia team that's not great on the road.
Not great. They lost 77-54, 76-54, 76-60.
They lost to Notre Dame by 22 points on the road.
Gotten their ass kicked in every road spot. You have to fade them.
Yeah, I think this is pretty strong. I mean,
lock potential. Hey, Discord, enjoy that one.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Hey, maybe you want to head to this game and you want some last minute tickets at a low price. What are you going to do? You're totally screwed, right? Wrong, because you got Game Time. All you got to do is head over to gametime.co, use the promo code SGPN, get $20 off your first order, or download the Game Time app, get set up, sign up over there. Terms apply, of course. Create the account, redeem the code SGPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Got that low price guarantee. You get to see what you're actually, where your view from your seat. So no obstructive views here. As hilarious as the CFB college football campus tour obstructive view calendar is, you got no obstructive views here for Game Time. Use that promo code SGPN, get $20 off your first purchase. They got you covered. And also Underdog Fantasy. Love some Underdog Fantasy, and use that promo code SGPN. Get the 100% deposit match up to $100. They got you covered for college basketball pick'em, which is really fun. It is just electric to get down on some of these markets. Really enjoy a good Underdog pick'em. Colby, if you don't mind firing up the Underdog app, legal in a bunch of states. What do you like for Underdog pick'em? Maybe tonight, tomorrow's card. What is jumping out at you? And shout out to Noah. Noah's been doing a bunch of videos, articles over on the website, his social for TCE for us, giving out some free college basketball Underdog pick'ems.
So hook up the listeners. Why don't we? I see they have a Friday game listed already.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, if you see anything on Friday,
Boise State and Nevada. Is I think where we should go. Maybe we build a little 2-banger.
Ooh,
Tyson Degen Hart, Colby.
How do we not get on Degen Hart?
Yeah.
What do? Do we like points, rebounds, assists? The steals is spicy.
I kind of like getting the points, rebounds, assist. I'll go higher, 21 and a half. He's a complete player. So give me Degen Hart there. I also give me
someone from the other side.
Well, this guy's been in college 75 years. I feel like Gerard Lucas. He was on that Elite Eight Oregon State team.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, like what 3-4 years ago. I'm just gonna keep it simple here. Take the higher 16.5 points because he's a veteran guard. He's very good, and I think that's your best bet with all of his stats.
All right. Keep it simple. A 2-entry lineup here over on Underdog Fantasy pays you 3x. So $100 to win $300 over on Underdog Fantasy. And of course, if you want to get a free 100, go to Underdog Fantasy, use the promo code SGPN to get that deposit match over on Underdog Fantasy. Kramer, what do we got? Kentucky, Texas A&M.
Kentucky, Texas A&M. Sorry, just send it.
Just firing it.
Well, I was firing on a little action for myself. And just wanted to drop the link to Josh so we could share it with the great people. All right, back to college basketball. Kentucky heads to College Station to take on Buzz, where they have. I'd imagine they only upgraded the imagery of Buzz since the football coach is now new man on the block. Colby, how we feel? What's going on with Buzz? I'm worried.
He's lost 2 straight. They probably should have covered at Auburn the other day, but they still lost that game. But Kentucky's won 6 in a row, I think 5 in a row, something like that. And this is a smash spot for A&M. Top 10 team coming into College Station off of 2 losses. This is one that gets you a solid seeding in March here if they can get this done. Remember, this A&M team's a veteran squad too. I think Kentucky almost lost at the Swamp. Florida's kind of a mess. A&M, even though they have lost 2 in a row, I think the fact that all these veterans are there, they're not losing this game. Give me A&M to get it done. I'm curious what this number will be, because Kentucky gets a little bit of that Duke treatment, that Notre Dame football treatment, where that Dallas Cowboy treatment, where they just inflate the number a little bit. So
yeah, I think you called it at -1. I think you're pretty close there. But to Colby's point, I wouldn't be surprised if you get it to 1.5, maybe 2. A little bonus action. I'm going against you. This Kentucky offense. I see the case for Texas A&M, but they're just not right. The buzzsaw has gone dull. I think this is actually. I think Kentucky's just a much better team. I think they're going to win, and I think they're going to cover even at a short number. So yeah, give me Kentucky.
Buzz is the motivation guy. To Colby's point, this is a great spot, and this starts a very tough stretch for Kentucky, where basically they have, the meat of the SEC schedule, and I think this is a tough spot. Buzz will have them up. Hopefully they can get it done. It's going to come down to the rebounding. Unfortunately, Buzz's offense is leaves a little to be desired, but I like the opportunity for them to get up here. I generally feel like I've taken a lot of dogs on the card already, so I want to stay true.
Dangerous.
Stay true. I got to take Buzz. I want to say wrong team favored, but I know that's not true. But I'll say it anyway. Wrong team favored. Give me Buzz.
I like Michael's angle in the chat. Outline this. This. I just think this is like Kentucky's due for a loss. They probably should have lost at Florida.
Danger, Ryan.
The fact that A&M such a veteran squad, I think they're going to know the importance of this game off of 2 losses and what this will mean for their resume.
No, to your guys' point, and to Michael's point in the chat, if Texas A&M does get the win, it's probably by margin. But I still like Kentucky. But if you're playing Texas A&M, maybe an alt line isn't crazy.
I'm seeing a nice round robin in my future. Kansas State, 1 p.m. on the West Coast, heads to Lubbock, Texas, where Texas Tech is laying 7.5, according to Prick Dundee. Colby.
I was wrong about. I thought Oklahoma State was getting Texas Tech in a perfect spot after the Texas win, but it turns out that this Texas Tech team is improving even with the Cambridge injury, who's out for the year. I thought there would be a little more regression. But K-State at the same time, Jerome Tang's squad is, even though I think they're kind of, Forgazy this year there, but
Forgazy.
yeah, for you know what I mean.
Forgazy, Sean.
Yeah,
the Tang gang. Yeah,
but I think if this number holds, I think you got to take K-State. I just feel like Texas Tech is due for a close game here. I'm curious what this number will be at, because K-State's had their struggles this year. But I think Texas Tech, they're just due for a close game. I was surprised they beat Oklahoma State the way they did. K-State, I know it's a back-to-back away, but give me K-State plus 7.5.
Yeah, I mean K-State
not been taking care of the basketball, not been shooting the 3 very well.
Yeah.
Not a lot of good reasons to take them here, other than Colby saying they're due.
Yeah, which could be a tell.
He loves Jerome Tang. He's trying to hide it. Be careful, Sean. Do the right thing. We love what Chris Beard left behind here with Texas Tech.
I mean, Texas Tech they're actually the Texas buzzsaw. They should be the ones that are because they're just winning at home by margin.
Yeah, it was never. Kansas State.
I don't know. I'll take Texas Tech, but this is a stay away. I don't want any part of this game because Kansas State hanging around makes sense, but I don't think they're a live dog.
Do I need to mention this? Texas Tech's got Houston on deck.
You've been handicapped.
All right, I just got put in handicapper parking.
Whoa!
I was waffling a bit on Texas
Play
Tech.
your damn music.
I'm going on Kansas State plus 7.5. The look ahead was what I needed. We need like a whatever that noise is a handicap van makes backing up into the handicapper.
If anyone is a middle school or high school band conductor. I would love to get a live rendition of the Benedict music.
Oh, that would be great.
It could be new Benedict music, just any sort of orchestra playing some drums.
Honestly,
marching music.
if you're a musician, any sort of original music that you think makes sense for our show, email us podcast@sportsgamblingpodcast.com. No ska, please. Other than that,
I like trumpets.
Yeah, I guess. The never had a knock on wood actually does apply to gambling a little bit. So I rescind my ska hate. If you're an original musician looking to be featured on the podcast network, send it in. We'll give you a shout out. Plug your Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever you want us to. So yeah,
you're
send
okay
it in.
with
We're
grunge?
always looking for grunge. Yeah, I could do a little grunge. If you're like a Nirvana cover band, sure.
I mean, it's funny. Everything's come back. Ska hasn't made it through the spin cycle yet. So
yeah,
I wonder why. Yeah, although they have brought back some of the worst parts of our 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Houston
80s, 90s, and today. I remember when that was it.
Yeah, classic rock now is shit from the 80s and 90s and 2000s. It makes you
it's
feel
really
very
horrible.
old.
It's really horrible when you're like you're turning on the classic rock radio station in LA and like fucking Sugar Ray's on. You're just like, what? Somebody pass me the shotgun. I'll blow my fucking brains out.
He's the new Mark McGrath is the new Mick Jagger. Houston heads to Fort Worth, Texas, where TCU is catching 9. Whoop! Houston coming off their first loss of the season in a game that Pick Dundee, and Colby all agreed ripe for the upset. Samson really does have great fuck faces at the end of games where he's just angrily staring off into section 300 in the upper deck. Houston in a bounce back spot, lay the big number. Is that the no hair drama in this one with Jamie Dixon? I don't think he's jealous of what Samson has.
I do go Colby.
I think it's too many points still. I think TCU's athletic and they'll be able to hang around enough. Houston's probably going to win this game in a bounce back spot, but I think 9's a little too much to still be on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I want to take the easy route and just say the bounce back, but to Colby's point, TCU is a home dog getting 9 points. It's a hair too many. I think you got to go TCU here.
Yeah, maybe I'll lay the points. Houston comes in angry. They just lost a tough game on the road.
No, I get the handicap on Houston. They're a very good team. They just lost to Iowa State. They're going to be up as hell for this, but it's still in state for TCU.
And remember this, Houston's never been in the Big 12. They never had to play these teams back to back games. Like I think that's,
I just don't think TCU. Yeah. TCU is not going to lay down. 37th in adjusted defense, and you're giving that defense 9 points.
In the AAC, Houston had to go to like win tough games against East Carolina, which is always a great team, and then they'd have to go the next night and play Rice or something. You know what I mean? So, or not Rice. If not Rice, then Temple or some of these other garbage schools. UCF.
Wow.
Now night in night out, they have to go against. They have to go against. It's a brand new ball game, man. That's why you got to take TCU in the points.
Give me Houston. I do like a horned frog, but give me Houston. They should have won that game.
Trevor loving our TCU play, Colby.
Yeah, no, I mean, generally it works out well when Sean and Colby disagree with me. I'd point.
Wow.
I would point right to that West Virginia Kansas State game.
Small sample size.
How about that UNLV game, buddy?
I don't remember that one. Miami heads to Blacksburg, Virginia, where things generally don't go well for them. Virginia Tech here laying 2.5. I'm so focused on the football program right now. I can't even see basketball because we're all the way back. And I realize the playoffs expanding next year. Hokies are a playoff team. Hokies are contending for the playoff in football. Fuck yeah. How are we doing with Mike Young and Padula and the boys? Feel like going through some shaky times.
What do you mean? 8-0 at home. Just had a huge win against Clemson. That's probably your best win of the season. Can you make it 2 in a row? Because Miami's 0-2 on the road. Jimmy Larrañaga's in the, he's in this. What is he? 83 years old? I don't fucking know. Does he even know? He's in Lee Corso era.
Whoa.
So
he just announced he's coaching Alabama football.
Can he do the presidential fitness test? You think?
Yeah, I don't know.
So the question is here is can they get up? I mean, Miami just lost to Louisville.
That's bad.
Miami.
That's
Miami. That's why I think Larrañaga's proven a point here. Give me the Canes on the road in Blacksburg.
I'm actually with Colby.
What?
Yeah. And I think this number's a little short. I think because they've lost a couple in a row, they might be catching 3.5 or 4. And they were tough losses. I mean, Louisville is embarrassing, but the Wake Forest game, they lost that in OT. I think this is they go on the road and shake things up against Virginia Tech. Tough matchup for Virginia Tech, right?
This is a very long trip for Miami. This is a location they do not do well.
Whole hour flight.
There are demons. There are demons, and the students are.
Michael Vick isn't playing in this college football game, right?
Guess who's back on campus this weekend? The students. Castle will be rocking. It's a small venue. One of the venues where you definitely see the shake of the rafters in the camera. You are out of your goddamn mind, you idiots, you stupid morons. The Hokie sports programs are back. Mike Young, this is where it starts. They have been horrible on the road, but as Colby mentions, they get it done at home. Lay the points. I heard Sean say he likes Miami, and then immediately attempt to make the line bigger so he can get a safer bet like a coward.
Oh, I don't need those points. I'm just
then play the money line, you pussy.
As a market dynamics guy, I just want to
market dynamics. The market doesn't know about Enter Sandman and Blacksburg. They don't know about what happens to fucking ducks who get lost in Blacksburg. There's a place on the campus of Virginia Tech called the Duck Pond. We might have a drowning. That turnover chain's a little heavy. Get bogged down in the mud of Blacksburg. A couple Hokie stones tied to your fucking legs. Take Virginia Tech. I'm not as confident as I was in the bowl game. For those asking, that was the most confident I've ever been. Cincinnati heads to Waco, Texas, where Baylor. Wait, did Colby? You're taking Miami too, like a loser, right?
It's a hammer spot. Yeah. I mean, come on.
All right, Cincinnati heads to Waco, Texas. Who is Waco, one of the most famous cities in Texas, but we learned last episode that it's actually a horrible place to live per the internet. Baylor, there's not a number here, Colby. Did I see one and it's vanished? I will. I'll do
Baylor minus.
I was gonna say I'll do my
7.5.
Prick Dundee attempt here. Minus 7.5 for Baylor. Right, what I would have said. So since he's been one of those teams where I feel like every time I watch them, they're good. The Texas game
didn't catch that lock against Texas.
That was a great game, though.
Did you see that game? Max Asmus game winner. It's filthy. Tough. It's filthy him playing for Texas.
I know he's supposed to be a small, scrappy guy, and he's playing for the big minister of culture team. I mean, my takeaway in general, everything I've seen of both of these teams is they're good. I certainly would look to the home team before I look to the road team, and I'd look to the favorite before I look to the dog.
Rare chalkling for Ryan here. I mean,
welcome to the Big 12, Cincinnati.
I mean, Cincinnati is interesting. Historically, I feel like they're a team I don't want to take on the road, but they did have a nice win at BYU by margin, by 11 points when they were. I forget what they were, but they were a decent sized dog. They also had an OT win against Howard. That's not impressive, but
I think they were a 10-point dog or 10.5 against BYU.
Pretty big dog. Yeah. I guess
11.
I think they can hang with this Baylor team. I guess my concern is where is their head at after that tough Texas loss? Is this a bounce back spot or was that kind of a dream crusher? Hey, maybe we're not quite as good as we think. It's a big number. I think they're a decent team even on the road. I'll take the points. Colby.
I'll take the points too. I just feel like Baylor's not as good as a few years ago or the past few years, and they just beat BYU. I think Cincinnati's way more athletic than BYU. They can pose a little more problems to Baylor. Baylor's probably going to win the game, but I think it might be a little bit too high there. So give me the Bearcats and the points.
But to your earlier point about Houston, this is you start to have the scheduling problems of the games just don't let up, and so this does become a tough road spot after a game where you squeezed all the juice out, lost to Texas. Can you bounce back, or are you going to let Baylor get one over on you? Lay the points, obviously. Last game, 5:30 on the West Coast. We're heading to Stark Vegas for Bama, Mississippi State. I heard I was listening to the College Football Inquirer, and apparently Alabama fans were surrounding Nick Saban's statue, placing heirlooms and flowers on it as if he had died, chanting anyone but Dabo. So that's where the Alabama fans are at in terms of the replacement coach. Kind of feels like a job.
Let's talk about this for a second.
Well, it's a patsy job. Whoever takes it is you can't be successful.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like everyone that it's funny the amount of people that thought that Dan Lanning or Steve Sarkisian they'd be insane to take that. They're at institutions that spend on Alabama's level, and why would you want to follow up? If you lose 2 games next year or 3 games, which is going to be hard. That's another thing is you have the brand new SEC with Texas and Oklahoma coming in, so like it's going to be harder, and then. I just feel like it's an insane thing. They have to hire like a coordinator, or Lane Kiffin would be the one that I could see. But some of these other coaches, why would you leave what you have to follow that?
Austin, Texas, not Alabama, not Tuscaloosa.
But
like, why would you want to go?
These coaches have incredible egos. So the idea of like, hey, I get to coach Alabama, I get to be the guy that takes over from Saban. I get access to all this money, all the facilities, but everything.
It's not more than Texas. It's not more than Oregon.
I know. I'm just saying. I think the narrative. Some of these guys with big egos could talk themselves into it.
Well, I mean, I get Sean's point of like, oh, do you want to be the next Bear Bryant, Gene Stallings, Nick Saban? There's such a pedigree that is Alabama coaching, but
no, and I'm with you. You're setting yourself up in a tough spot. I would say though, not quite comparable, but Bill O'Brien did come. To Penn State after Paterno and have like a decent enough run and kind of helped propel him into the NFL. So I guess it can be done, but it'll be interesting to see.
The game has changed though. And I think you don't have to be at Alabama to be successful like in the past. And so it's not that top job, or it's still a top
agree,
job.
But do you think coaches view it like that? I think coaches still think it's.
I think coaches generally seem to want to chase the bag, and occasionally alma mater squeaks in there. That's why Dabo comes up, because he's an Alabama kid.
Okay, yeah.
So I think in general, specifically Colby's point about comparing it to Sark and Lanning, like these guys are at premium programs with access to championships and access to all the money, and probably in a better place like to live, frankly. And so I don't know why you'd want to go to Alabama. Sure, they're going to compete. They've shown they want to compete, but Saban was the reason they were competing, not Alabama. Alabama sucked for a while before Saban, like not like on the edge, like sucked. I mean, they were below 500 for like a decade, right, Colby? Like
I don't know about the whole decade, but they had some bad years where they were losing to Hawaii and
a lot of Hokie highlights of them kicking the shit out of Alabama back in the Michael Vick days, even Marcus Vick, I believe. So, anyway, the point being, I can't imagine who they could hire that would have a chance at being successful.
Yeah, and I find it fitting, throw in the towel because everyone else can pay players.
I mean, what was the number? He lost 3 games, twice in his career at Alabama. Like the new coach is going to come in and immediately lose more games than Saban has in a long time, and it's going to be hard to swallow. Yeah,
and you're entering this brand new SEC where you got to play Texas and Oklahoma, and no, you no longer play Georgia once every 20 years. You know what I mean? In the regular season,
they're in trouble. It will be an interesting program to watch. I mean, I'm certainly more bullish on my Hokies than I am the Elephants of Alabama right now. If I'm an Auburn fan, I am feeling excellent right now. Your prayers have been answered. Smash! Back to Alabama basketball. Nate Oates and the boys haven't heard any issues with transporting weapons or anything of that nature this year, so that's good. They've gotten better as a program. Alabama laying 2.5 according to Prick Dundee on the road here in Stark Vegas. Are you kidding me? I was right to say Alabama would get it done by margin in their last game. Although I don't necessarily think my handicap was right because they didn't completely dominate the pace until later in the game when things fell apart. This is a tough matchup for them though because they're taking on a Mississippi State team that plays hard defense. They defend that 3-point line, and it's the only way I can look, Colby. So tell me why I'm wrong to take Mississippi State.
No, I'm on Hail State too. Yeah, this is a team getting Tulu Smith back was huge for them. He was their best player a year ago, and although Chris Jans got swept last year, that was year one, and those were specifically I think the game in Starkville I think was a close game. This team's better this year. They understand what he wants, or maybe that was in Tuscaloosa. Now that I think about it, but. Either way, I think Mississippi State's a better team this year. I think Alabama's not as good. They're not as athletic as they were a year ago. Going into Stark Vegas, big opportunity for Mississippi State. That's another thing. Alabama won the SEC last year. A little bit of a target on their back. So let's go. Give me Hail State.
Yeah, this is going to be in what is it? 8:30 Mississippi time.
Yeah,
that's going to be a bonkers environment.
Maybe
the cowbells will be ringing.
Yeah, they lost 3 times to Alabama last year, Colby, including in the conference tournament.
Yeah, they lost 4 straight, but one of them was a 1-possession game though. I remember
that was on the road in Tuscaloosa.
They kind of Alabama got fortunate to get out of there on that one. That was Chris Jan's first year though. He's better this year. Mississippi State's better this year than they were last year. And Alabama's not as good.
The last time they played in the conference tournament, they got embarrassed 72-49. So I definitely.
If this was a neutral site that you don't want to, I would take Alabama. The fact it's Starkville is the difference for me, and the fact that I think this Alabama team is less athletic, which Mississippi State is still super athletic. Now they can't shoot. That's just the way Chris Jan's teams traditionally are. They're going to be great. They're almost like Buzz Williams teams. You know what I mean? So I think that the home court's all the difference. When they're in Tuscaloosa or on neutral, I would take Alabama. But give me Hail State.
I mean, good example. It was 29. It was 31-29 at halftime against South Carolina for Alabama, and Mississippi State is a massive upgrade on the defensive side of the ball. So I think you could see a similar start, and if they can hang on, love Mississippi State. Upset potential.
Stark Vegas, yeah, it's frisky home dogs here. A good spot to fade. Bama, I'm with you. Consensus.
Nice. Ooh.
Consensus to play to close it out. Bama -2.5 for the chat. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plays on the consensus. Of course, time for our Lock Dog bonus lock brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Head over to hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN. Get 50% off your first month, or just download the Hall of Fame Bets app. Start betting smarter, not harder. Super helpful for player props. Ryan, we got our NFL props episode for Super Wild Card Weekend. After we're done here, I'm going to get back into the lab, fire up the Hall of Fame Bets app, and get to work. Grinding out some player props. If you're building a ladder without Hall of Fame Bets, OSHA will not certify ladders unless they've been inspected by Hall of Fame Bets. Promo code SGPN. Kramer, what do you got for the folks?
Lock St. John's +6.5.
Oh, wow. Breaking news. Have you ever locked up a dog?
Nah, you're right. That's a mistake. St. John's dog on the money line.
Wow, okay.
You're right. That's a oversight by me. Lock Wake Forest. UVA has been tremendously bad on the road. And if you can get word to Noah Colby that there was a video he shot in the Westgate out in Vegas during March Madness with me just applauding the UVA fans as they left after they got the heartbreaking loss. Maybe we recircle that as this Tony Bennett led Virginia team struggling on the road. Lock number 2, you nailed it. This is an absolute smash spot. We fade Porter Moser off the hair bowl against Jamie Dixon as Kansas, Bill Self and the boys come home for a rebound spot. We have opportunities to do some fun parlays later, but I'll let you guys go first.
All right. Yeah, I'm with Kramer. This is a amazing spot for Kansas -6. Got to lock them up, and of course the dunk. Give me Providence -4. Fading Xavier on the road. I do also like Wake a lot there for my dog. I see producer Josh is on the Cuse money line.
Cuse.
Colby, what do you think? Cuse money line?
No,
Crazy?
No.
Crazy.
All right. I will go with
Colby's going to be on North Carolina the second that line gets to 11.5.
I'm gonna be on Kansas State. Let's go Wildcats. Come on. Kramer, Colby, what do you got?
Let's lock up. I mean, I think you're right. Kansas is gonna drill Oklahoma. That's the obvious one.
Bullshit.
The other lock. I mean, there's a lot I like on the board, but I think New Mexico -1.5 at the pit is the one. The dog, Miami Hurricanes, but I could also be talking to a Miami TCU parlay here on the money line.
Ooh, okay. So we'll put you down for Miami, and then we can talk parlays here. Do we want to do a group parlay? Kramer is not on TCU. He is unfortunately on Houston. I don't know if I can. What? Houston back-to-back losses is.
Well, what are we parlaying then? Do we have? We don't have.
I mean, we all like St. John's. I'm down for that. You want to put St. John's?
I'm
in the
more
line?
terrified of that because they're on the road. I like TCU's chances for an outright win more than St. John's.
I mean, I'm in. All right. TCU, is this a Colby Sean special? TCU,
Yeah, go for it, losers.
TCU.
I got one for the people.
TCU, Miami. Do we put Kansas State in there as a round robin, or no?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
TCU, Miami, Kansas State. Sean and Colby only.
All right, give me a not in my state.
Is this still a Jersey parlay?
Nope. This is a not in my state parlay. Virginia Tech lay the points. Wake Forest lay the points. This is a Hokie fan parlay.
Okay. Virginia Tech laying the points.
Oh, what the fuck
What
is a
about
Wahoo parlay?
A&M? What about A&M with?
Yeah, you're right. Sprinkle Buzz in there as well. Texas A&M.
Virginia. What's the Texas A&M plus one, and then Wake -3.5.
Yep.
All righty. Let's get it, gentlemen. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Hey, make sure you get in on the free playoff challenge, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NFL playoff. The link is also in the SGPN app. We're also running a merch contest. So whichever show gets the most merch sold between now and the end of the month, promo code playoffs. Support your favorite shows, help them win a little prize behind the scenes, and perfect time, 15% off everything in the merch store. Promo code playoffs. Kramer and I will be back talking NFL props with the ladder llama himself,
Sean, based on the way
CJ
that
Sullivan.
Colby speaks of his chat, I'd be very disappointed if the TCE doesn't win.
Yeah, they're great at chatting. Are they great at supporting the TCE with some merch purchases? We'll see. Stay tuned.
The odds are like -500. TCE brings the.
They are the favorite, but we'll see. We'll see.
They have a full cult. I mean, I see the numbers. I see what goes on in that chat. Let's go. Move some t-shirts, guys.
Let's get it.
Show us that you're not snorkelers.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Prick Dundee really is a great name.
Kramer, let it ride.